Hey guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the In the Round podcast. You've got Matt
and Tyler
and the Coda Bear and the Studio Cats, the Podcats, as we like to call them. They are off hiding, Mr. Felix and Mr. Cake. And today we have got a great one for you. All of our guests so far have been awesome. We love the opportunity to talk to some really talented people that are here in Nashville, Tennessee. It is Music City. If you can sing, you can write. There's a lot that people can do down here.
And everybody does it.
Everybody does it. Everybody plays. Everybody sings. Hollywood with a touch of twang. Be a star, you got to bang, bang, bang. What song?
Crazy Town, Jason Aldean.
Oh, yeah, there we go. That's why we're partners, buddy. Pound it. So the guy we have on today, certain people just have that it factor, that it where it's like you drop what you're doing. Holy shit, this cat can sing. Why haven't I heard of him or her? Yeah. And this guy's got it. He's a humble, super nice guy as well. I got that vibe from him at least, right? Didn't you, Tyler?
Yeah, he's a great guy. I've hung out with him a couple of times. See him at work all the time, like every time, just the nicest dude. Cares about you, care about how your day is going, man. Just a great guy.
And first time you heard him singing, you were like, you just stop what you're doing.
Yeah, I think I was like playing video games or something like that, and I heard it on somebody's phone. And I literally like paused the game, turned around, and was like, who was that? And for me, like, I'm in live music. Like,
you hear people that sing well all the time.
It's my 40-hour-a-week job.
Yes.
You know, like, that's what my job is. That's what pays the bills for me, is to listen to people sing and do all that kind of stuff and produce people and all that. And it's very rare nowadays that I go, who is that? And this guy, first time, it was just like, holy crap. And then people started playing me more and more of them, and it never stopped. Like every time he opens his mouth.
So he's a boy from Carolina. Carolina absolutely can. We talk about his Christian background. We talk about how he got into music and how he ended up here in Nashville, Tennessee. He's a guy that's taken advantage of a lot of great opportunities, that's been in the right place at the right time, and it couldn't be happening for a better guy. Y'all get ready. Gear up for this one. Grab your bridges. It's time to go in the round with none other than Mr. Jacob Lutz. Tyler, hit that music. What is going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to the In the Round podcast. We're hanging out in the studio. Got an awesome guest here today, right, Tyler?
Oh, yeah, man.
Like one that we have been very excited about getting, a guy that our buddy Colton Parker was like, you have to get this guy. He just moved to town. He's a good buddy of mine. And we've started working with you downtown, and we've gotten to know you a bit better, and we were able to set something up. It's a guy that can freaking sing. It's a guy that can write. It's a guy that you have a lot of good times with, that we enjoy spending time with downtown here in Nashville. It's our buddy Jacob Lutz. Jacob, how you doing, brother?
Good, man. How you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. No problem. So let's get right to it. So you've been to town. It feels like you've been in town for a long time.
Yeah.
And you've been here, what, 2 months?
I've been here just a little bit less than 2 months, but I was telling you, like I was saying earlier, I'm from North Carolina, and in Raleigh, you just don't go out every night. There's not stuff to do like on Wednesday, or definitely not on Monday and Tuesday. And so just being downtown every night, either running sound or just hanging out with people, it feels like I've been, here a long time.
It's a lot, right?
Yeah.
The day, you forget what day it is. Yeah. That's my biggest problem. Like, I put something up, I think it was on my Instagram, where I put like a way back Wednesday, and then I had a buddy text and be like, dude, it's Tuesday. Yeah. And I was like, shit. Like,
it's so true, man. It's so true.
And also, like with us, like, especially me and you, like the way we work, like your Monday is Saturday, and my Monday is like Wednesday usually. My weekend's Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
It's all over the place for us.
Yeah, but how you like being in town?
Dude, I've loved it. My first day is when I met Colton and all these guys, and I unpacked the U-Haul and I went straight to a rehearsal, and as soon as that happened, I knew like I was gonna love it here. I was like, there's so many talented people here trying to pursue what I'm pursuing, and there's no feeling like that, so it's cool.
So backing up, going way back in the early part of Mr. Jacob Lutz here. So you started out, you come from a spot that's kind of a honey hole for producing great country singers, great musical acts. As of late, there's that saying, Carolina can, and coming from North Carolina. So what part of Carolina are you from?
I'm from a small town called Clayton, North Carolina. It's a little bit to the east of Raleigh. Okay. And so it's about 45 minutes outside of there.
Okay, sweet. And when did you start doing this music thing?
My parents were pastors. They were actually like worship leaders and stuff. So I grew up in the church, and I started as a drummer when I was 11. my dad used to be a drummer, so I'd watch him, and that's where I started, was drumming. And so I guess 11 as a drummer is kind of my start. And I didn't really start singing until later on.
Our worship stuff, that's something I don't really know a whole lot about coming from up north. Like the worship bands and all that, that seems to be a huge thing down here. Like that seems to be the way so many people get involved with music.
I mean, that's part of the way that I got involved in music, was like whenever I was younger, there would be bands that came to our church. I was in church before I was born, like ever since the womb I've been in church. But like, that's how my parents noticed that I had an interest in music, because a band would come and I literally would just sit there the whole time and wouldn't move. And for me, that was literally something that never happened in church. Like I'd fall asleep or I'd be running around all the time. But like a band comes to town and takes over, like I would just sit there and was literally mesmerized.
And it seems like that's the way a lot of guys get started. Like, I mean, as rough as Brantley Gilbert looks with his tattoos and riding on the bike, that's how he got started, was playing leading worship at his church in Georgia, Florida-Georgia line. They got linked up at Belmont, leading the same worship services.
I didn't know that. Yeah,
it's that. So that's another. Wow. That's a cool
even like
similarity.
A lot of like your big guys, like Timberlake, Gaga, Katy Perry, like those people started off in the Christian industry and started playing in church and stuff. And the Christian industry kind of was like, don't think so. And then they come to the pop side and are the superstars they are now.
Yeah. Even for me, like, obviously I was in church, since I think my parents' first day as pastors, I was like 8 days old or something like that. And so I didn't miss any church growing up. Maybe for like a soccer tournament here or there, I would miss a weekend. But I was always in church. And so I even was trying to write. When I started songwriting, I don't know, when I was like 18, I tried to write. I was still a worship leader. I tried to write Christian stuff, and it was fine. It was good, but for some reason, it was always easier for me to write the secular stuff. Like, I don't know, it just came to me a little bit easier, and so it's been a fun ride as far as songwriting with people here.
I was the same way as you. Like, I did write Christian stuff for a while. I was in a worship ministry program and all at college. Yeah. And so we were forced to write Christian stuff. But for me, like, as far as like Christian and secular songs, it's probably 20-1, and every now and then I'll even have that kick where I'm like, all right, like this has come to me. But like, for me, I always felt like with worship music, like I was put with a box, like I couldn't say this or couldn't go there with a song. And so like with secular stuff, there's not that.
There's not as much stuff to write about that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely understand that.
So when did you make the jump to like realize like, hey, I can do this? Like I can go to Nashville and I can do this, because there, as you know, there's a lot of people. I mean, songwriter is the number one, I would say, occupation in the city limits of Nashville, Tennessee, and maybe the entire section of Middle Tennessee. Yeah. For that matter. So what made you feel like I can pack up from Carolina, from Clayton, North Carolina, and come to town and try to do something?
Well, my parents wanted me to move to Nashville probably for a couple years before I actually did. And I was like, I'm not going. I had a job in Raleigh.
What were you doing?
I was working in the church.
Oh, really? Yeah, wow. Yeah. So you were really into it.
Oh,
okay.
I was working in the church, yeah. And so like I had a little studio there and recording, and so that's what I was doing, and I was happy. I was making money. I was playing gigs here and there, not nearly as much as what you can here, but I was making ends meet and playing music. So I was happy. And then I met this guy, Hubert Payne. He plays drums for Little Big Town. And like my parents had been wanting me to move here for so long, and I just said, I'm not moving there. There's too much competition. I don't know anyone. And I said, if I'm going to move there, then every door here is going to have to close, and every door there is going to have to open. And it's going to have to be super obvious.
It's going to have to take a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Real quick sidetrack, how was the music scene in that Raleigh area?
The music scene in the Raleigh area is completely different than here. And that's understandable because obviously this is Music City, but there's just not nearly as many people pursuing full-time. And I think that's the difference. I think here, everyone's like, music is the end goal.
Were you able to gig, though? Because I know there's a lot of colleges in that area. There's like a triangle, the schools?
Well, I actually, there are, obviously UNC, Duke, NC State, all those three. But
is Wake Forest in that, too?
Well, yeah, Wake Forest there, too. I wasn't playing at schools, really. I was trying to do the more higher-end things, the stuff that I could make more money doing.
Okay.
So I was at, wine bars, and really you're just background music there. So the two main differences between Nashville and Raleigh as far as the music scene is less people are pursuing full-time. That's not the end goal for people in Raleigh. And here, you can see how restaurants are built around stages.
Yeah.
They're literally built so that you're paying attention to,
the music. It's a music venue
Right.
that also serves food
Right.
and drinks.
Exactly.
And we're like, as sound guys at where we work, I know I'm trying to keep it like around 95, maybe 100 decibel.
Right.
Like 100's like max for me, but like,
Right.
That's a nighttime shift for me too. Like, no other place is allowing a band to get to that level outside of Nashville, really, unless it's like an actual concert venue.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Because when you're riding that high audio wise, people can't have conversations, right? And so it would be low. In Raleigh, it'd be way lower than that. Not even close to that. Your background music when you're
An
in
acoustic guitar, like finger picked, is like
Acoustic
what
guitar,
they want.
maybe a piano, something on that level.
Mellow, all acoustic.
So
stuff.
was it all covers?
Oh yeah, definitely covers.
What was your go-to cover? Where it's like, I'm playing the Raleigh Winery, I got to play this.
Well, if I was playing like a wine bar, it's definitely different. I could play some like old school Maroon 5, like songs about Jane. Like I could play some old school stuff like that if it was a wine bar. But then sometimes you are at a bar that's a little bit more country, and so I don't know. I go to like Tennessee whiskey and stuff like that.
Okay.
I love some Chris Stapleton.
you love
man.
the soul.
Oh,
You're just a soulful bastard, aren't you?
I love soul. I love it. Chris Stapleton blows my mind. I also when Justin Timberlake and Chris Stapleton started working together, that was like my dream pairing. For
And
sure.
Timberlake's a Tennessee guy. Like he loves Nashville. Yeah, he loves that scene and that soul. And a lot of people forget about that.
Absolutely.
The stuff that he used to do and whatnot. Now Hubert, that's a big name to be a big guy. So how does that get connected? Where was he in Carolina? Like, was that a Carolina connection? Was that a he sees you playing out kind of connection?
Yeah.
Or how'd you guys get linked up?
Literally just I get a random message on my Instagram. I hadn't actually been posting for a while, and I was just like, I need to get back into this, and I posted, and I get a message from Hubert, and I didn't know who he was at the time. He didn't say, hey, I'm a drummer for Little Big Town. He was just like, dude, I love what you're doing. Would love to make music with you one day. And it's funny, I just recently went back and tried to like find out when he sent me that. April 6th, 2018 is when he sent me that. And he just said, I would love to make music with you one day. And I said, absolutely, man. I started as a drummer, and because he told me he was a drummer. And so we just found that common ground real quick, and he said, well, you should come do a show of ours. And I said, of course, I'll be there. Tell me when and where. And he tells me the Greensboro Coliseum, which is an arena.
It's a big venue.
I mean? So I was like, what? I kind of just laughed and was like, what are you doing there? Like, who are you playing for? And he said Little Big Town. And I was like, dude, I would love to. I would absolutely love to. So he left me ticket at will call, and I show up. That's about an hour drive from where I was from, and I just raced down there. I had work, I had like band practice that night, and I left early, and I just raced down there. I made it right before Little Big Town came out, and I sat second row, and like dead center second row. It was awesome, and they were amazing. And then I hung out after, and he brought me backstage, and I got to meet all those guys, and that's where I met Akil Thompson, which we ended up working on a couple songs later on in the year. But yeah, when I first met Hubert, it was Instagram, and then went to a show of his, and so it's pretty cool, dude. Instagram is a powerful thing.
That's just kind of how it works in this industry too. Is just people get linked up through different things and whatnot. But that's so cool. Now, was it a certain video that he saw you singing, or was it just kind of the whole what you had on your feed? I
think it was just an overall thing. It might have been the latest video I posted, because, like I said, I hadn't posted in a while, so that could have grabbed his attention. But I think a lot of people. I think almost anybody can sound good in one video.
Yeah.
And so if, most people will go to that profile and just kind of check out, is this kid really, has he really got it like to this level, or did he just get lucky in that video,
And you've got a pretty good base on there too. You've got a nice little following for a guy that's just kind of getting here. Now, how do you get a lot of traction, like when you're putting something up where you're like, where you're getting people from all over the place kind of jumping in at you? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. I really was taking my Instagram seriously a while back before I met Hubert, and just engaging with a lot of people. And if you want to reach people outside of your 50-mile radius, then you want to be online. Like that's how you reach people across the country. That's how you reach people in other countries.
Yeah.
So it's just, if you're not on social media, you're not going to be very relevant. And that's sad kind of to some people. Some people like, think that's sad.
It's all about the shadow boxes and all what's popping up there.
Right, exactly. It's because, everyone knows that our generation is all up in their phone. But as far as for a career and business mindset with music, you have to be. Like, there's not really a choice if you want that to be your life. So, you play the game. You got to do what you got to do. But it is really fun, when you do post something and you're getting a lot of engagement with fans, you're interacting with fans, and that's why we do what we do. People tell me how it helped them through a breakup or whatever. Like, they're in that place and they really needed to hear it that day. Like, stories like that and fans talking to you and telling you how much they needed to hear that, or just how blessed they were, or how much they loved hearing you sing or whatever. Like, that's so awesome to me. I love that.
So that's Jacob Lutz, the singer. Now, Jacob Lutz, the writer, and this is in the round where we talk about the writing side of things. You and Tyler were really getting a good vibe before, talking about how, it just seems like so easy. You were playing us some stuff before and whatnot, but you were saying how you kind of just need to do it, like just to like stay like centered kind of thing. Like, it's just like a release. Like, you have to do it. Like, as a writer, even you, if you want to touch upon this, Tyler, like, what is that like? Like, kind of like where music is like therapy kind of thing, where you just gotta kind of let it out.
For me, it at times becomes like a sacred thing where, you're sitting there and you're writing, and, you're not writing for a mass audience at that time. You're writing for yourself. I had a guy tell me one time, he's like, write a song for 1,000 people and it'll be sang by a few. Write a song for a few and it'll be sang by 1,000. And, a lot of times I feel like that's where a bunch of the bigger songs come out of from back in the day was, it wasn't somebody that was writing to, sing to thousands of people.
You're not trying to write a hit record.
Right. You're not
just
trying
writing
to,
something
like,
personal.
You don't, honestly, man, you don't have a care about what anybody else is feeling. Like, at that time, whenever you're writing and it's therapeutic, you're writing for yourself. You're, Jacob touched on this earlier, and I think I have too before, like, it's your voice. Like, that's how you're getting out your emotions. Like, I know, like, in stuff, I don't have the greatest ability to voice like, how I'm feeling at the time. But I can write a song in 20 minutes, and you'll know exactly how I feel.
Yeah, dude, I definitely agree with that for sure. As far as singer-songwriters go, like, if you're writing a song that has no meaning to you, when you sing it, people will they won't feel nothing. You know what I mean?
It ain't gonna be shit.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. But if you're writing a song like Tyler was saying, if it means the world to you and you were in that moment at the time, when you go to record that or when you go to sing it live, people will feel what you were feeling. And if you're really truly expressing what's inside of you and what you were going through in that moment, the rawness of the vocal, because of where you are in life, like, those emotions are going to come across and people are going to feel something and they're going to be able to relate. And that, as far as the success of a song, is like people just being in the same place as you. Like, they're just relating to where you were in that moment. And that's why it's so powerful. Like, that's why I have to do it.
Now, are there songs that you won't play for people that are just so deep and heavy? Like, are there songs you guys have as writers? Again, I've got nothing as far as songwriting and whatnot. I've been at writers things where I've had buddies like that I happen to be hanging out with, and then they'll just get an idea and they'll just bring the guitars out and start picking. And I'll just be kind of off in the corner, like playing Xbox or doing something. But for you guys, like, are there songs that are that deep where you're like, I'm not ready to share this right now?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I have a notebook that I keep back home. The other day, my mom actually texted me and was like, hey, I found this notebook. Can I throw it away? And I was like, no, don't touch it. Don't open it. Put it back where it was.
Yeah. It's like your diary.
Yeah.
I totally agree, dude. And some that I may not ever play for anybody, dude. Some of those songs are me at my most vulnerable state. And I think at some point, step out and, like, trust, but it's a scary, as a songwriter, you're being vulnerable. Like, literally your job is to be vulnerable and share what you're going through. Like, that's a scary thing.
There's times where there are songs that are, like, literally your kids. Like, you know, these things are so personal, and to share that and to go somebody be like, it's all right. Like that hits you on a deeper level than other
Which
songs.
has got to be crazy, like for as a writer, to when somebody else cuts your song and it's that one of those deep ones, that's got to be a tough feeling. That's got to be something that's tough in this town.
I'm
when
sure.
When you're doing that kind of thing, like if you've got a really deep one, like shit.
I mean, it could be better though that they cut it, because
no,
you're
absolutely.
almost hiding. You're almost able to hide
in the
behind
background,
it.
unless somebody's looking at like composer credits and
Right.
looking on like BMI and things like that.
Right.
So as far as your writing, how's co-writing been for you in town?
It's very new to me.
Right? That's something that I hear from a lot. Like with our buddy Dave, who came down from Jersey. He had been writing by himself for years, and then came down here, and he said it's such a different thing to get used to. Like it's awesome, but it takes some getting used to.
Yeah, there's give and take for sure. I mean, in Raleigh, I wasn't really co-writing too much, but it is a different animal for sure. There's no. It's good, and sometimes it can be kind of annoying, you know. At least in my opinion,
it's like working with. It's like going to work and working with a team on a project, or working at a school on a school project with somebody.
It's give and take. Like if you have this line, no, I really think I think we should use this line. I'm feeling it. It feels great, and you know somebody else is like, I don't really know. I don't really know about it. It's just like realizing, which lines to choose or which ideas to really fight for, but at the same time, you got to keep in mind the big picture and the overall message, and all of us are viewing that message differently, which is how that song's going to turn out super powerful, is if everybody kind of shares their 2 cents in that song of how they see it, you know?
Now, are you a guy that'll come out with more words, or are you more the melody guy? Are you more the guitar guy, or do you not like to put a label on it?
I can sing melody all day.
Okay.
I got melodies for days, for sure. If the topic means something to me, I could write lyrics like Tyler was saying in 20 minutes. If it means something to me, I'll knock, like this song that I'll play for you guys in a bit. This one that I wrote last night, I had everything I needed to say, and you know, within an hour, I had recorded a little demo of it within an hour, just acoustic guitar and vocals, but that's lyrics, the whole story, you know? And so it's got to mean something, if for the lyrics at least.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Damn, man. Damn. So going back to coming into town and whatnot, real quick, what's been your favorite part of just being like in Nashville, besides just going out downtown and enjoying the party that is Nashville? Because that's what everybody thinks. It's like, I get buddies that are texting all the time, like, you must be loving it. It looks like just a bachelor party 24/7, which at times it can be. We've had a lot of nights that end when the sun's coming up and whatnot. But for you, what's the favorite part where you're like, I'm so happy I did this?
I think there's probably 2 things. There's just like this first initial experience that I had that I share with you. Like I said, I was going to this garage, my friend Matt's garage, to rehearse. And so my first day here, like I said, I went to that garage and I sung with those guys, and they're so good. Colton was there, Trevor McKay, Hubert's playing drums, Matt, you know, Johnny, my friend, he's on the road with Hunter as well. So I was playing with those guys the first day, singing with them. Well, I actually moved in on January 7th. That was my first day. And so we had another rehearsal on that Wednesday. And I'm in there, you know, singing with the guys. I was loving it. And Hubert just nonchalantly kind of goes, "Hey, Hunter Hayes is on his way over here." And I'm just like, "You mean to this garage that we're in right now, practicing?" Don't get me wrong, it's not like a stingy garage. Like he's redone this garage. It's really nice. It's a really nice rehearsal space, but we're still we're in a shed, you know. And so Hunter Hayes is on his way, and of course, as soon as Hunter gets there, we're doing the song that I'm about to sing on, and I'm just like, oh man, this is great. But I'm really scared, you know, at the same time. This is my 3rd day really in Nashville, my second or 3rd day really living here. And Hunter Hayes is about to watch me, you know, sing. And I'm already nervous.
With a group that is very good.
Exactly.
Those guys are no slouches that you're playing with.
Yeah, so I was already nervous because those guys were so good. And then to add him into that mix was crazy. And it's funny, like a week later, those guys had an official audition to become his band, and then he ended up hiring them, and now they're all overseas, touring. So that was my first week or so.
Did you get to talk with Hunter at all?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny because Hunter is like about to leave. He comes up to me. It's crazy. First off, it's crazy that I now talk about Hunter and just like by his first name.
Just say Hunter.
Yeah, because I've hung out. We hung out since then, which was really awesome. But so at the end, he's about to leave that rehearsal, and he just comes up to me. I was like, "Hey, man, so good to meet you. Like, thanks for hanging out." He's like, "Dude, your voice is really good. Like, it's intimidating." And I was just like, holy crap, I've made it. I've made it. Like, it's all good from here. And so that was huge. That was a huge boost from not only just to get that compliment, but just from my confidence, to have Hunter Hayes say that to me was a big deal.
On your second or third day in town.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was freaking awesome. The other kind of pleasant surprise coming from Raleigh, being outside of the Nashville scene looking in, I think, at least I did, a lot of people probably have this assumption that the best of the best are in Nashville, and it's, you better bring your A game or else you're going to be in a tough spot. And I bet you it's super competitive, and there's a bunch of weird tension because we're all pursuing the same thing.
Yeah, a lot of clicks and things like that.
Right. And so, but when I got here, and I don't know, maybe it's just those first guys, this first batch of people that I've kind of met, they've all been super supportive. And we're all trying to do the same thing, but everyone supports each other, and it's so different than what I was thinking. I was thinking people were going to, see me as a threat and maybe not even get along with me or whatever. But since I've been here, like I met Skylar Anderson. At
great dude.
Yeah, at Whiskey. So I met him at Whiskey Jam. My like a week from when I moved in, I went to Whiskey Jam and it was packed, like shoulder to shoulder. I met Skylar Anderson through Colton, and he's doing the exact same thing I'm trying to do. And I was like, it's cool. Maybe we'll kind of support each other. But no, he texts me 4 days later, dude, what are you doing tomorrow? You want to gig with me? I was like, dude, this is awesome. This is so cool because it's just not what I was expecting. So that community is way different than I was expecting from moving from Raleigh. So
yeah, and that's something that I've picked up on too, coming down from a place like New York, where it's very competitive and people are very much like what you thought Nashville would be, but you come down here and it's just everybody playing music and sharing cool experiences together, and everybody's trying to do the same thing, but it's like a family environment. And the best thing, I remember Brandon Ray said this to me once. I was out in San Diego with him and some crazy thingy, and he was like, dude, it's all about the hang. It's all about the hang, just hanging and making friends, and nothing like crazy business. So I was like, some of the biggest deals that go down are like sitting at the bar at Losers. Like it's just it's just those intimate hangs of just friends getting together and stuff. So when did you really start singing? Because you got a voice, and people are going to be hearing that in just a little bit when you play for us.
I appreciate it. Well, it wasn't really, I don't know. I did the whole chorus thing in elementary school, but when I got into middle school, it wasn't the cool thing. It wasn't the cool thing anymore. And definitely not in high school. It wasn't the cool thing to be in chorus or singing or anything. It's at least for guys. Like that was kind of, at least where I was from in Clayton, it was more of a girl thing to sing. And so I kind of unfortunately let that determine how open about my singing I was going to be. And so I really wasn't singing for anyone or really that much. I started playing guitar at about 14. So of course I would try to sing along with my playing as I learned my favorite songs, but really to sing for people, I had a kind of a big problem as far as insecurities go that everyone has. I feel like everyone has this insecurity that they're not good enough. And this song I'm going to play for you guys at the end kind of goes into a little bit of detail, but the way my dad was raised, single mom in Jersey, like she was working 3 jobs, and her and my grandpa had split, and so my dad's parents were split, and she was working 3 jobs to kind of keep them in this tiny apartment, and sometimes she would drink too much and come home and kind of tell him he was no good or not good enough and stuff like that, and so that kind of scarred him as it would anybody.
Yeah,
and that kind of bled over into my childhood a little bit, and so for a good amount of years, I heard kind of the same thing, that I wasn't good enough, or that I wouldn't be good enough. It didn't really matter what I did. And what's really cool about this story is that because my dad loved music, like my dad's major love of music, I ended up loving music, and that became the common ground to now it brought me and my dad have a great relationship now. And now that whole past relationship between parents and kids of you're not good enough is kind of gone, and my kids won't have to go through that because me and my dad have kind of squashed that. And it's
That's
really
awesome,
cool.
dude.
Yeah, so it's awesome.
That is very awesome. So you start singing, and as far as like influence, what for you was good music growing up? Because I know you grew up in the church, so I'm sure there were some Christian bands that were really big for you and things like that.
Definitely.
But you're in Carolina, where it's country music, but you're also very soulful.
Yeah.
So for you, what were you playing on your iPod way back in the day?
Well, when I first started learning guitar, I was learning stuff like John Mayer, Jason Mraz all day. Like that's what my dad listened to, so I would listen to that. Even some old school like Billy Joel and stuff. My dad loved Billy Joel. He still loves Billy Joel.
Jersey boy, of course.
Yeah. So I would learn a good amount of Billy Joel, and I like some of the old stuff. Some Lionel Richie, easy on Sunday, easy like Sunday morning and stuff like that. So that was where the soul kind of came from, or some like Etta James or something like that. So that's where the soul came from. Christian stuff, I can't really remember, man. That was so long ago, and it was, I mean, I say so long ago, but, you know, I'm still kind of young.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
Man, as far as Christian stuff, I guess, like, Casting Crowns was, like, really big then, and Jesus Culture kind of had just started. Jesus Culture kind of blew up. And so I really liked them. I loved the drummer. He always was rocking that mohawk, and I was the drummer first, so I always connected on that level. But yeah, so then, and I tell this story to everybody. I used to listen. My parents got these leased cars, and they were really nice, and you could listen to the music on your phone. And that was awesome to me. And so I would listen to whatever's on my iPod. So I was listening to John Mayer and all that kind of stuff. Well, it came around to where I bought, the first car that I purchased for myself. It was old. It was a 95. It was like almost as old as me.
What were you driving? What was it? 95 what?
A Nissan Pathfinder.
Oh, man.
So it was an old radio. You can't listen to your phone. So I couldn't listen to my phone. And so I would turn on the radio, and pop radio had garbage on. Like, pop radio was trash. There was just all kinds of crap coming out on pop radio. And so I was flipping through the stations. I was like, I'm just going to try country. Every country song I've heard has a story, and I'm a storyteller as far as my songwriting goes. And so I started listening to country music and Garth Brooks. My dad loved Garth Brooks too. So I started there, kind of Garth Brooks. But what we've seen lately in country is I don't want to say a more talented singer, but I always had this feeling that, country music was just about being a normal guy singing. Yeah. And there's a cool aspect to that. But I think what we're starting to see with Luke Combs and, obviously Chris Stapleton, these super talented singers.
These vocalists.
Right. They're vocalists. Exactly. And there's still the story there, but adding that level and that quality of vocal on top of it it's taking country music genre to another level, and I love it. And so I like to pride myself as a vocalist and just trying to continue that. I chase guys like Stapleton and Luke Combs. Like, I chase those guys to try to get as close to that level as I can, because that's where country music's headed. And, like, it's really cool to see country being on that talent level as far as vocalists is concerned. So I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And even some other guys vocally, like a guy like Mitchell Tenpenny that can just belt it out.
Absolutely.
And then on the girls' side, you have Carrie, and you have Mary Morris and people like that, where there's such a crossover with pop and country and whatnot, where people that weren't listening to it before.
I also would I would also love to see some vocal groups. Like, I got to give a shout out, obviously, Little Big Town. There's some friends of mine now, but I would love to see some vocal groups coming back. They got 4 singers. The harmonies are insane live, and so I don't know. Maybe they're out there, but I'm not seeing them around as much. But I would love to see some vocal groups coming back.
And even to like branch out into stuff that's, you know, not country, like to the stuff that I listen to a lot. Like you got your guys like Sturgill Simpson and Tyler Childers. They're coming out of Kentucky along with Chris. And like all those guys are phenomenal vocalists.
Yeah.
You know, and Tyler Childers, I love him. He's a storyteller, but he can sing like no other.
That's the thing, is that these guys like Combs and Stapleton and those guys, they're all phenomenal vocalists, but they're also incredible writers.
Yeah.
Like it's not like they're so focused on their vocals that their writing's hurting at all. Like
Absolutely.
like those guys can write hits for days.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like the story's still there.
Yes,
and
very much
they're
so.
just adding on, you know, from vocal ability, and I don't know. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, man. So for you, what does success look like in terms of 2019? What are you trying to get done in this year? Now it'll be your first full year here. What are you looking to try to get done?
Man, it's hard to say because my short time here has been insane, and when I was first talking about moving here, people would say, "Hey, it's hard to get a gig here," but I had 4 gigs in my first 3 weeks. I had 4 paid gigs in my first 3 weeks, which was like insane.
Yeah,
people were just like, "That doesn't happen," you know, and I guess I just met the right people when I first came here, and been around really supportive people who are just trying to help, and it's been amazing. And then things like Hunter Hayes walking in, so I have no idea what 2019 really holds for me, but I haven't released any music on Spotify in my entire career yet. I would love to do that. More co-writes, more music, more getting into the Nashville scene and the culture that's here. It's so different, you know. I feel like I've kind of only gotten my feet wet. I have so much to explore. I would love to play, you know, original music. I love the covers, and I love showing that respect to the people who have come before me and those hits that have been written, those awesome songs. But there's just something about singing your own stuff. That original music, man, is what that does it for me. I want to play writers rounds, and I don't know, dude. I love that. I love the original culture here. Writing your own music.
The authenticity of it that
absolutely.
doesn't exist in other places.
Absolutely.
And whatnot. Now for you, record deal or pub deal? I mean, if you're a vocalist, probably record deal. It's probably a stupid question.
I would, shoot, dude. I would love a record deal, but either. Either. To me, there's nothing wrong with either one, man. I think one can lead into the other. I think you get a pub deal. I think that leads to a record deal. If you're working with the right people with the same vision as you, if you can get a team around you with a pub deal and you're all working towards the same goal, I think it leads to the other. And whichever comes first, honestly, because I will be so happy with either, dude. That's the dream.
Yeah, man, and you're working hard. You're writing how many songs a week, would you say? I know it depends. On when it hits, and I ask this question almost every episode, and Tyler gives me the look like, man, it depends. I've told you it depends. Why are you still asking this? But I'm asking anyway.
Yeah, it's almost an impossible question, just because some weeks it could be 10 songs. You know, some weeks it could be 2. It could be 1. It could be 0 songs in a week. It really just depends, man. But with the culture here, as far as writing and co-writing, if you get around the right guys, you're writing every day. And that's cool. It's also very challenging, also very emotionally draining if you're writing from experience or from whatever. And you almost run out of experience to write from if you're writing every day. But I would say when I first got here, that first week, I probably wrote like 7 songs that week, just because I was so inspired. I had just gotten here, and it was just like, holy crap, I'm ready to go, and just start writing. And then, you know, as every creative person ever goes through a little bit of a lull, or they go on ups and downs, and that's just, you know, that's normal. And how many songs you write will, you know, vary with that.
So talking about ups and downs, let's talk about something real quick. Writer's block. How do you deal with that, man?
The answer to writer's block is co-writing. I'm so convinced that that's why you co-write. You get 3 very talented songwriters in the same room. What are the chances that all 3 of you are completely blocked that day? Very low. They're very low. And so you get in the room with 3 people, say, man, honestly, I'm really struggling lately. And I almost guarantee you by the end of that write, those other 2 guys will have you out of your writer's block by the end of that session, which is another huge deal in Nashville when you have all these people to co-write with. Other people's passion. There's no way all of us are going to be in a lull at the same time. So someone else, you get in the same room writing with someone who's on a high and you're in a low. Hopefully, if you're doing it right and they're a good friend by the end of that session, and they're a good friend, like their friendship, anyway.
If the chemistry's there.
Right. If the chemistry's there, hopefully by the end of that session, you're out of that lull. You're like, this is why I do it. And you're right. There is something to look forward to.
There's a lot of times, you go into a write and you're, like you said, in that lull and somebody is on a high and you'll write a song together and it gives you the motivation,
It's a jump start.
Yeah, it is.
It's a jump
and
start.
It gives you the energy. But I've also been in the room where that person's on the high and you're in the lull and there's like a looking down on.
Yeah.
And like, why aren't
you're
you
in the room with
contributing
you're
as
in the room
much?
with the wrong person?
Yeah,
man.
and that's
you just got to leave that room.
Yeah, that's
if
a bad
someone's
place
giving
to
you
be.
that vibe, man, you don't stay.
Yeah,
I
no.
wouldn't stay.
Are you a believer in vibes, like energy and things like that?
I think, I believe that you should walk around with a good energy. I think if somebody is like you're every time I see you, you're smiling all the time, unless you're running security and some dude's annoying you.
Oh, yeah.
Then you're that guy. Then you're that guy. But pretty much for the most time,
it's just a front. It always is.
For the most time, you're smiling all the time. To me, the only way I can describe that is, dude, you have a great energy about you. And
I appreciate
I don't
that
know.
about you, Jacob.
Yeah, I don't know about getting into all the
Not what you
details.
appreciate.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about getting into all the details about energy and all that, but like, if you got a good energy and you make me feel happy because you walked in the room and you were happy and you're lighthearted and you're feeling good, you have a good energy to you, and that's freaking awesome. And I'll hang out with you every day because you got that vibe, And that's just, maybe it's for lack of better words, but yeah, I say you got a good energy or you got a good vibe, and it just feels good, and so that's good enough for me.
There you go. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Jacob, man, it has been an absolute blast. Where can people find you on social media and whatnot? Because that Instagram, it's a big one.
So like I said, I haven't really put any music out on Spotify yet. Pretty much Facebook, Instagram. Instagram is my main focus.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love Instagram.
As it should
dude.
be. That's the way. See, I
Yeah.
wasn't a huge Instagram guy,
Yeah.
and then I started getting more involved with industry
Yeah.
stuff, and I was like, it's a great way where people connect. It's quick. People are always on their
Yeah.
phone. That to me is like one of the number one apps where just people, if you're
Absolutely.
if you're just chilling somewhere and you got to pass the time, they're just scrolling on their feed.
Yep.
Why not see Jacob Lutz when you're
Yeah.
scrolling on
Yeah.
your feed?
So the story thing has been brilliant
Yes.
also.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's even bled over into Facebook, because
Yeah.
Facebook bought Instagram. They're
Yeah.
kind of going in the same direction. But so basically everything that I'm on as far as social media is all just my name, Jacob Lutz. And it's really, it's a lot of people don't get just their name, there was actually another Jacob Lutz who had it. And there was on Instagram, there was this kid, and I just searched Jacob Lutz, my first and last name, and he was just this, he was like a high schooler, and he just was hunting, fishing all the time. And I said, dude, I would love to. I'm a singer and all this stuff. And he checked out my page, and I was like, I would love if I could have that name. If you don't want to give it to me, it's fine, but I would love to just have my first and last name. I'm gonna start taking my music more seriously. And he was like, dude, you can have it. Just take it. He immediately changed his name for free. I just got my name, and I was like, dude, this is awesome. So I still follow that kid, and I still talk to him, on a somewhat regular basis. He's just like, dude, you're doing so good. And it's
Jacob Lutz and
it's
Jacob Lutz. That's
exactly.
awesome.
Yeah.
Was he a Carolina boy too?
I don't know. I didn't ask him. where he's
Some
from.
hunting, fishing.
Hunting and fishing, loving every day.
Oh, he's out there doing that.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. And now, real quick, the song you're going to be playing for us, you wrote it last night.
I wrote it last night. Yeah. Kind of the story I told you guys about, my dad's childhood, and then my childhood, kind of that whole insecurity not being good enough and how we overcame that is kind of what this song is about. And it means a lot to me. And I wrote it last night, the whole thing, about an hour, recorded a little demo, and I'm going to see if I can't play it for you guys today, right now, hopefully.
All right, awesome. And not even a title yet, right? This is
Yeah.
brand spanking new.
Yeah, not even a title. So I don't know. Maybe you guys could help me out with that. But for now, it's just a song about my dad. So
awesome, man. Well, if you want to grab that guitar, start getting that all tuned up.
Yep.
You guys, thanks for tuning in to the In the Round podcast once again. It was awesome. This was another great episode. As always, you can jump on intheroundpodcast.com. Our webmaster, another Jacob, Mr. Jacob Albert, is on there. We're posting the weekly roundup. We got all kinds of cool features on there. Coda Bear is operating the YouTube. You can check out all those cool videos. We've got live sessions that are dropping each week on Instagram, on Facebook, and all that good stuff. So make sure you jump on there. Make sure you also click subscribe wherever you're listening right now. Give us a little rating if you think we did pretty good. Throw those 5 stars in there. Now, without further ado, Jacob Lutz taking us out with a brand new song here on In the Round.
Just a kid. Mama worked 3 jobs so you both could live in that tiny New York apartment. You would wait for her alone every time, staying up, worried and restless, always keeping on the front porch light. Well, sometimes the drinking got to her, and she would come home late at night. Well, she'd walk in and you'd never know if it was gonna be love or a fight. So you swore you'd never, and you swore you'd never be. You swore you'd never, you swore you'd never be that way. Just a kid, just trying to make his dad proud of him. He didn't know any better. The way that dad grew up made him a little too rough. Didn't matter how he did, it was never gonna be good enough. One day dad took notice to his son singing in a room. He walked in with tears in his eyes, said, "Son, I need to talk to you. Oh, son, I swear I'll never, I swear I'll never be, I swear I'll never, I swear I'll never be that way." Well, just a man, all grown up, and now he understands that dad and him pushed the past aside. For the next little boy, it's a different life. For the next little boy, it's a different life. 'Cause now I don't have to. Now I don't have to. Now I don't have to. Now I don't have to be that way. Now I don't have to be that way.